Okay, so a very great evening, great afternoon, great morning, great night. Yes, that's how we sign in on our podcast. Just in case you've never listened to this again podcast, you should go check out this again podcast. One of the things that we've done in L300. So today we have another amazing guest with us on the L300 Impact session, right? This session, we get to share the impact that the L300 has had on the people who have been part of the program. And we want them to share their stories, even though this is a year now they've been away from the program, but we just want them to share their stories so that people can know of the truth that this thing that we say happens to someone when they are in the program, it really do happen. It is not cho, we show walking. So Tejri, I know we are in for a lot of laughter today. Tejiri is a very funny, hilarious, amazing person. Good to have you with us today. Oghenetejir, right? I'm correct.
Owarieta.
Owarieta.
Yes,
Yes, Owarieta Oghenetejir. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
So tell us about yourself. Who's Tejiri?
Okay. To start with, I would say Teju is a very jovial person, friendly person, somebody that is always ready to work and ready to learn.
Fantastic. So 4 years ago, you walked into campus as a freshman. How was that experience for you? By the way, before you answer that question, look at this picture here.
That's long.
This is 4 years ago. Like they say, 4 years don't work out. This is 4 years ago. How has it been for you? The first day you worked here as a freshman.
Okay, the very first day I walked into the International University, I would say I was somebody that had no purpose, no determination. All my mind was I just wanted to get into this school, get my degree. In 4 years' time, I'll be out. Yeah.
So what happened?
So along the way, the L300 program came in, and I would not say it disrupted my plan. I think it was a very good program that helped me to become a better person, and it shaped me for the outside world.
Fantastic. I see you're you're trying to hold back your answers. But yeah, I'm going to get it out of you today. I will get them out of you today. So first things first, how was the L300 program generally for you? How was the program? Your first meeting you ever attended, how was it for you?
The first meeting I ever attended, I think that was in Chapel when we just came in to this campus because we resumed at Oka. Then we came in by January. I think our first meeting was in Chapel with Dr. Alex when he called us. That was when the program was about to come alive again. And at that moment, I was told to stand up from the back seat. From the back seat. Who would have thought that he would see me from the back? Then I was told to stand up. Then I was like, okay, that was good. And the first task we had was our Sunday service. That Sunday service will commence on this Sunday. Then after that, as the program went on, I started to say, okay, the program was a very interesting program. And despite still my roommate back then in 100 level trying to discourage me, and they will call us, oh, BIUPK, you don't go campus life, your second room. And the program really was a very good program that came along my journey.
Awesome.
For that, I would say I'm grateful that I was part of the L300 while I was in BIU.
Fantastic. So you were glad you were part of the L300 program. Okay, so before we move further, did you ever do holiday tax?
Okay, so let me be honest. I would say no.
Oh, wow.
I did not do holiday tax.
Well, it was people like you are the reason why they put fine holiday tax now.
We are the cause of it. But we have genuine reasons.
Okay. No reason is genuine enough. Excuses are good reasons for bad results. No reason is genuine enough. Okay, but how was it for you generally, the holiday tax?
Generally, with the holiday tax, I think it was exciting because during the holiday, most students don't have anything to do, except from those that do their IT, which starts from that 200 level up to when they finish. But I think the holiday tax was really helpful because it helps keep students engaged even while they're at home instead of just laying around, going out. It just helps them to keep track of themselves.
Fantastic. So while you were on the program, on the L300 program generally, not being a volunteer yet, as the program itself, any skill, because the program says it helps students to discover their purpose, develop their potential, and improve academic performance. Would you say that that vision of the program really had impact in you as Hadrian?
I would say yes, it had a lot of impact in me.
Tell us about the impact.
Okay, so first things first, I'm this kind of person that I don't know how to speak to a very large group of people. And my close friends back then, they would say, okay, when I start to speak, it's either I'm stammering or I'm mixing up the English, I'm breaking bottles and that. But when I came into the L300, giving my first responsibility, I thought, okay, this will require me to like talk to people and also know how to communicate. And that was where the 300 actually came in for me because I learned how to talk to a group of people. I learned how to communicate with people, how to be patient with people because people are built differently. I always say this, even when I'm in my hostel, I will tell people that, okay, humans are built differently and we are staying with different breeds of people. We don't know where they're coming from. But the L300 actually helped me to be patient with people, how to talk to them, and get to understand people better than making them to understand you.
Fantastic. So you were able to improve yourself while you were on the program. And see, from the program, you eventually helped to host the first ever games night that we did. How was that?
Okay, so moving on to the games night. Initially, I didn't want to like accept that to be like to head games night for the first time because this is something that I've not done before. But when the tax came, and if there's something that I've learned in the program is that whatever you are given, even though you don't know how to do it, when you get into that office, you will eventually grow in it and you will learn to do it perfectly. So when the opportunity came, because I would call it an opportunity to grow myself, I took up the banner and together with my committee, I was even surprised that I was able to come out with that amazing idea because that was the first ever 300 games night, and that was a very huge opportunity for me. And I said that okay, I can do more things if only I can give it that if only I can give it my all.
Yeah, you really did more things because after then, the next year you became an HRA.
Surprisingly.
So tell us, how was it like being from an elderly volunteer to becoming RA and then HRA? How was the progression for you?
Okay, the transition for me when I became an HRA, that was my current this my final year. I've always because according to what I've learned from Dr. Upgrade is that even though you think okay you can't handle the responsibility, when you get there you must find a way to adjust your schedule and fit in. So me becoming an HRA, moving to Wisdom Hostel, though I was there for the previous session, but with all the things that has been going around, I knew that okay, I had a very huge responsibility to impact on Wisdom Hostel, even though it was going to be for a very short period of time. I ensured that okay, what I want to achieve, I was able to achieve it, and it just went well. And I would say because I've always been learning from the 300 program, so when that opportunity came, was not really difficult because I've always been given responsibilities to handle while I was an engineering volunteer.
Yeah, just on a lighter note, before the Daya joined us, he used to hold the record of the one that's been
The online program was
even the online.
it was something. It was a great experience though.
Okay, so next question I would like to ask: What were the things that made huge impressions on you while you were on the program? What were the things or who were the people that made impressions on you that you looked up and like, wow, these people they challenged me. I want to do better. Tell us about
Okay,
that.
so the first person I will start with is Tamnoteli Joshua. During our first 300, should I say our first? Yes, that should be our first stream session or the second stream session. When he came, the way he was always asking questions, his language was very fluent, and his English was so very, very good that if you hear him speak, you'll be okay, oh, this one is an half caste. So when I heard him speak, I was like, oh, this is a very nice tone. And I thought, okay, if he can do it, it means okay, I can also do it. And that alone stood out for me. And also Coco. I would say Coco because Coco was
Shout
a
out to Joshua and Coco. Second,
because
second person is mentioning those two again now.
because Coco was somebody that she's always determined and she likes to get the job done, even though it's going to stress her, as long as she's able to achieve it. And she likes to pull people around her. So she that okay, the work was. I remember when I was in chapel when we were taking our separate attendance for 100 level. That time she was part of the choir. So during the chapel service, we're looking for attendance. So I had to be like, okay, oh Coco, see, there's no attendance, so and people are waiting. And was not supposed to take the attendance. She left her choir seat and she came and immediately she just okay, you okay, take the attendance, okay, start the attendance. And as soon as she came, attendance was going, and I love the way she speaks to people because even though you're the one at fault, when she speaks to you, or even though she's the one at fault, when she speaks to you, like you just okay, let me just listen to this person, even though okay, it's not actually it's okay. It's not something that okay I should do because this person is at fault. But when she speaks to you and everything, she just makes you feel welcome to the family.
Awesome. So Joshua, Coco, we can't wait to interview you guys so that because people have recommended how much impact you guys had on them while they were here. Okay, so in that area that I want you to also tell us about, all through the program, you may have had your own share of moments or impressions. Before we get to moments, let's talk about impression. Oh, let's talk about impression now. Let's talk about let's pardon me. Let's talk about the moments, right? Those things that were memorable moments for you or memorable experiences for you outside of the all night that you were taking the award for sleeping. But what were those memorable moments that you look back and said, I was glad I was part of this program?
Okay, so first things first, I'll start with the games night which I hosted. The fact that I was able to get people together to bond, laugh, and create memories, that alone stood out for me. That was a very huge moment for me because it's hard for you to get people to come together and also create memories from it. So for that, I was glad that I could see that happen. Then also training sessions when I was part of the panelists, or should I say the panelists,
Okay.
when I had to like come on stage and I was being interviewed with questions and giving them the answer, and people were actually laughing. And I was so just glad that okay, I was able to put smiles on people's face. That was just the greatest moment I have with this L300. But the fact that I was able to make people to laugh and put smiles on them, even though they were down, the fact that I was able to give them that smiley face again, that was a very huge moment for me in the L300 journey.
Awesome. Okay, so all through the journey for you, would you say at some point you had some challenges? Did you ever feel like I regretted being here? I should never have joined in the first place. Do you have any challenge through the program from freshman to penultimate?
Yes, I had a
Please
challenge.
tell us about
Okay,
it.
that was in my freshman year because imagine just coming to a community, you don't know how things operate, and there was like meetings every week, and we had classes from Monday to Friday because we're doing 10 courses, so our timetable was usually jam
True.
packed. It
Yeah.
was true. So we having meetings, training sessions every Saturday by 9 a.m. Mind you, most times Saturday morning are supposed to be for okay, Akara, Akamu, and just relax throughout the whole day. Then you can, let's say, do some laundries or read your book. But you are going to, because we as volunteers, we go to chapel early just to set up the venue for training session. So those schedules and everything was really stressful. But at some point, I adjusted myself to it. And but during my first time coming in, that was a very huge, you
So your
know,
your freshman year was when you really had the challenges. After then, you were able
yes,
to.
I was able to adjust because, like I said before, in whatever place I find myself, I try as much as possible to adjust quickly to the environment.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so before we wrap this up, I'd like to always just digress a bit and ask another question. Would you say that being on the program was okay for you, like you said, but being an L300 volunteer, tell us about that quickly.
Okay, there's a difference between when you are part of the program and you are the program. Let me use that word because as a volunteer, I see students who come to the training session and the movie night, but they don't know what really goes on behind this because as volunteers, we get extra training from our coordinator, which is our online program, sometimes our weekly meetings that we have. there are always training sessions, and I think this is what members or regular students do not get to experience. So I think being part of the voluntary system is way more different because you grow faster than when you just have a physical meeting once a month, every Saturday. Because aside from that, you don't meet again, except okay, there's now games night or any other event. But the only time you meet as a member is just during the training sessions. I think you being a volunteer, like there's all these opportunities for you to actually grace because there are some times that okay, our coordinator will be going out for an event and we'll be like, okay, volunteers, you follow me. And these are things that okay, regular members will not get to experience. Even during our school outreach, the school outreach, regular members will not get to experience what we experience in our school because the school outreach alone is a very because you're going to different secondary schools and you are teaching the junior ones how to prepare for life. These are things that regular members do not experience. And I think being a volunteer is it differs than being a regular member. And so I would advise that as a freshman, 200 level, 300 level, I would advise okay, to become a volunteer because there are a lot of experiences and a lot of trainings that will help you grow while being a student in outside university.
Awesome, awesome. As volunteers, we get to do movies, we get to do podcasts. Do you ever get to do any of those?
The podcast, like I said before, I had this stage fright, or should I say anything that would just like make me to be speaking out there. I was trying at all costs to avoid it. So I think I was not, I did not get featured in any of the podcasts.
You will definitely get featured in a podcast before you go though.
I did not. The one I did was with Winner. Yeah, it was with Winner, but we have to like retake it again, and for some unpredicted reasons, there was no time for us to now meet again to just like do the podcast.
But did you ever feature in any of the movies?
The movies, no.
Wow, you
No, I
missed
did
out.
not.
You missed out.
Yeah, but despite it that I was not there in the movie, I was always behind the scenes. Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's great. That's good. Okay, so we're about to wrap this up. But before we do that, which is the last question I'm going to ask you, what is your advice for students who are coming into school, 100 freshmen to penultimate year? What's the advice to them about the L300 program itself? Not volunteers yet, but just the program itself, L300. What's the advice to them?
Okay, my advice to them is that I will just, if there's any way, just try to get yourself involved because me coming into BIU, some people will say, "Oh, you're always everywhere," but I just try to get myself involved, not because okay, I just want to be there, because I want to get the experience because these are all part of the experience of being an undergraduate while in university. So I just try to get the experience. So I always advise them try to get involved with the program just to get the experience because nobody knows what is waiting for anybody outside the real world. So just try to get the experience. Just try to get yourself there.
Awesome. Okay, so you heard from Tejiri, try to get yourself involved and gain the experience as much as you can. And that's going to be very different now for you because the program is basically now online. So you need to do extra work to actually get involved because it's online. So if you don't show up, you don't participate, you probably will miss out on a lot of things as against when it used to be on site or get to see people. Okay, so before you leave us, tell us about being a volunteer. Why would you encourage somebody to not just be in the program, but also see how they can be part of the volunteers while they're on the program?
Okay, so being a volunteer, like I said before, it will help you grow. Like the areas that you did not see yourself okay ever attaining. Being a volunteer pushes you beyond the walls. Like it helps you grow with the trainings and everything. And these are experiences that being a regular member will not get to experience. Even though you attend all the training sessions from your 100 level to your final year, it's way more different than when you are a volunteer from your penultimate year to your final year. So I think being a volunteer is just different. So I would advise you to just become a volunteer. Though it's going to stretch you beyond your capacity, but just become a volunteer. When you become a volunteer, you will get to see the experiences. Yeah.
You didn't want to let them in on that. When they become volunteers, they get to see the experiences. So What would be your advice to young people in school? What would be your advice generally to young people in school? Now you are leaving school because you're a graduate now, you're done with school. Just like yesterday when you were this young man in this picture, 100 level, you have grown, you have evolved, you mature. What's your advice to young people who are coming into school or currently in school? What would you advise them?
Okay, in one word, or should I say two, I'll just advise them just stay focused, because that was one thing that guided me from my 100 level to my final year. Because there is no way you come into university and there are no distractions. I saw distractions, I saw temptations, but I knew the kind of family that I was coming from. I knew that okay, there was this certain goal that they wanted me to achieve. So I just have to stay focused and everything. So I'll just advise those coming to BIU or into university and those that are in the university, just stay focused, have a goal, set a goal, and make sure that okay, in everything you try to accomplish your goal within the stipulated time you'll be in these four walls of this university.
Okay, so Tejuri, thank you so very much. I try to always do this to people who come here who I happen to have their pictures on this flyer, and this is you. This is you right here, and just like yesterday, 4 years have passed, and you're now a graduate. This was you in 100 level. Remember when we did this picture? And now you're a graduate, and 4 years after, a lot has changed. Once again, Teddy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here to share your experiences, to share how the L300 program impacted you while you were here, and also how being a volunteer on the L300 program also helped you grow. Like you said, helps you grow faster than just being in the program. Being a volunteer helps you grow faster. So if the program helps you to grow by 2x, being a volunteer helps you to grow by 5x. So you decide how fast you want to grow while you're in BIU, because being in BIU is for a time frame. You're not going to be here forever. Whether you are doing a 4 year course or a 5 year course, or even a medical student for 7 years, you're not going to be here forever. The time will always come and go. But the things that you've learned while you're here is what you will take with you everywhere you go. So, Tejiri, thank you so very much. And finally, there's this thing that we say in health that I love BIU because where I met you at. You really think that thing is true? Or just another thing?
No, for me, I would say it is true because I've met some people in this school and I said that okay, if I hadn't come to BIU, I wouldn't have met them. And these people, they're not just okay, regular people. There are people that always guide you throughout because there's always somebody you meet in university that will guide you, encourage you from your freshman year till your final year. So I think that's it goes beyond saying it because if I hadn't come to BIU, I wouldn't have known anything about a 300. I would have met people I met in a 300. And I think I would not even have grown this much. So I would say it goes beyond just saying it. It actually speaks for itself.
So you heard it. It's not just a fine saying that we say here. It's actually the truth because I love BIU because where I met you. Tejiri, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having someone else again to share their impact story of the L300 program. So, guys, you've heard it. This is not Church or Church Evidence Day, right? And there are many more people who will share their experiences on the program and how it has impacted them. So until we come your way again, remember L300. I love BIU because it is where I met you. Have a great time, guys.